Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show, where I check to make sure everything is working. How are you today on this fine Wednesday afternoon? Back to our regularly scheduled time. I like to do these midday on Wednesdays. Don't ask me why. Let me know if there's a better time for you, though, in the comments. If you want to, if you crave to attend these live streams, test your best list against mine during the live. Let me know if this time doesn't work for you. But it works for me on Wednesdays, so that's why we do it this way. Apparently, a majority of viewers on YouTube happen to be here between noon and 5, at least so far as my demo is concerned. That's why we do it when we do it. But let me know if you've ever wanted to attend one of these live streams and participate, if there's a better time for you. Obviously, I'd like to accommodate. But guys, today we're working on yet another list for 06. We're so close. I can taste it. I can taste OP06 in my mouth. That was weird. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. I can taste the packs though. I'm so excited for the set. Honestly, it's the meta I practice and play the most. OP05 is fun, but this game really opens up soon. I just wish I pre-ordered some boxes. If you haven't been on track with like what's been going on in the world of OPTCG, well, pack prices, box prices, and then of course old set prices have gone up. Singles inventory has gone up. There's really only one marketplace for it, which, oh hey, hold up. Let me pull this up. So I've been a long time affiliate with TCG Player, and they've gone through a reworking of their system, how they pay out individuals that are affiliates. And I've just ignored it for a minute because, well, I didn't really feel like plugging them. But because I use it so often, and this is why I use them, and because I know a lot of players use it, if you want to help support the channel, this is maybe the best way to do so. I'm really just testing to see if this works. I might not make anything off this, but this link I'm going to leave in the description. This is going to help the channel a whole lot. So, TCG Player, affiliate. It's going to be labeled that. This is going to be a link. If this works, like if you're electing to buy your AA Sakazuki through this link, well, thank you. I think I'm supposed to get 3.5% of the proceeds. That's the contract I'm on. It's okay. But if you happen to make that purchase through that link, I would appreciate it, mostly because I want to see if it goes through this time. TCG Player owes me money from months of affiliate link purchases that I have not seen. So I'm curious to see if this goes through, and then maybe I can have a longer conversation with them on paying me. Hey, see, it's show before the show territory. You get to hear my thoughts on all the shit I have to deal with. But yeah, if you use that link, you can buy anything through it, but obviously, ideally, One Piece, and maybe that Linlin starter if you haven't picked it up yet. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. So Linlin is a list that, when Yellow came out, I was extremely excited for, because the whole objective of Yellow is to thrive off of triggers, and we've gotten so many more trigger playables. Really good cards have come out since she was announced, and you know, I would say the meta was initially for Katakuri. Now we really care about Enel. It's that triple hit to kill, right? It's obnoxious, it's difficult to contend with, but I still think there's space for Linlin to carve out a home. In particular with OP06, with all the life gain shenanigans and of course top deck manipulation you get outside of her, we should be having a field day. So our starter Yamato list actually turned out really well. Our OP06 Arlong, Yellow is my favorite part. I'm willing to bet that we can make a successful Linlin today. Now, this isn't to say that this is going to be the best meta-defining list in the game. As a matter of fact, it might not be. We're going to make it in about 30 minutes and then play test it. So Lord knows how successful it will be. And a lot of it comes down to piloting. But I do think that Linlin has the potential to be somewhat decent. So I've been talking about her. She's on screen. Maybe some of you are new to the game. You've probably never seen her. That's okay. I don't blame you. No one really plays her. But we are today. So Charlotte Linlin, Starter 07, there's a couple of cards that people have singled out from that starter and like to play. For obvious reasons, they're very good. She's Big Mom Pirates. There's a whole subset of cards called Homies that no one plays, sadly, but they work really well with her, and they work really well with the 7-drop Linlin and the 10-drop Linlin. I'm trying to find one now for us to look at, but the majority of the good ones are like in that starter. Let me just pull up. Like this guy, the double attacker. So things like Prometheus, I very early on had a cool build that utilized the banishers, the double attackers, all that stuff, and they're trigger playable cards with no downside, right? You don't need to discard a card or anything to use them. Obviously, the detriment is the fact that it's a 3-for-3 that has to tap to use its activated main. But you're able to do it, like, as soon as it comes down. So maybe there's a subset of homies will actually play. I love Prometheus, though. I think it obviously works very well with Linlin. And if we're using 7-drop and 10-drop Linlin, all the more excuses to play homies. I play homies in yellow-black Big Mom. Yeah, and there's another one that's sort of received no love. I think it's just the simple fact that Enel's life gain is so easy to manipulate, and the plethora of triggers you just get to utilize in that list are absurd. Black Yellow Linlin was like a $20 card for the longest while. And again, series of buyouts. She's not making the rounds in tournaments and top 16ing things, but she is very competent and very playable. Like, I like Black Yellow Linlin a whole lot. I have a build that uses like the KO-proof blockers, your Borsalino, your Fukuro, and then some of the homies as well. They just work really well with Linlin. So I like them in a package, but like a small subset of them. I think we might do that today. And of course, we might incorporate a lot of life gain and a lot of Land of Wano. I think we're going to use some Big Mom Pirate cards, but we're going to probably lean towards Land of Wano. I just think that they're, no offense, card designers, I think they're doing a better job with Yellow's effects in 06 than they have, you know, when Linlin released and Yellow's previously. I just think that the Land of Wano Skypiea stuff is really good. I think we're going to probably lean more towards Wano stuff because there is life gain effects just there, which we want to manipulate. And that's sort of what's made our previous Yellow list on our live stream sessions so good, in my opinion. It's all of this Land of Wano stuff that's really, really good. So we're going to look into those. But Linlin herself, oh boy, we're going to get into her in just a second, but I'd like to officially start this video by welcoming you to Local Game Group. Hi, I'm your host, Pat, your local game guy. And like every Wednesday, we do a One Piece live stream where I work on a leader. I'll encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel and vote on our polls. I'll often ask you guys what list you'd like to see. I generally like to tackle off-meta list in these live stream brewing sessions. Why? Because it doesn't make sense to make another Sakazuki. I think we all, right now, there's a little bit more variance with how Sakazuki plays, and I mean the blue-black version of Sakazuki, not the mono-black version that I still actually enjoy. The competitive one, it makes no sense. Those lists are already solved. So if there's a list for a leader that isn't being played or talked about or discussed in depth, that's why we do these. So subscribe to the channel, be sure to participate in those polls, and of course, join the Discord. The link in the description should be working for you. And more importantly, if you are attending the live and would like to participate in gameplay, breaking in the list that we build today, feel free to let me know in the chat. We're over on OPTCG Sim. I will leave a link for you to play against me. But as I've been saying this whole time, we're working on Starter 7 Linlin. So what makes her special? She's got 5 life, 5k power, 5 life, already better than Enel, right? Dawn X2. When attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life area to your hand. So you can read this as card draw, right? So 7k, draw a card from your life. Obviously, there is a detriment to losing life, but in some instances, it is actually a good idea. We can get into those instances if they arise when we're discussing cards that will go into our deck. But if your life is 2 or less, so when you have 3 life and you activate this ability, you'll have 2 or less. You may place up to 1 card from your hand at the top of your life area. Okay, so anything that says trigger, we're going to want to run. So things like, I don't know, this Onami, KO up to one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters. This seems very, very playable here, doesn't it? I mean, it's basically Thunderbolt, right? KO one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less, but on a body. So we're not typically trying to main fit. If you've ever played with Thunderbolt, you clearly like it for the trigger. It isn't always going to be the case. Sometimes you will need to trash the top card of your life to get this effect. It's very good. But this Nami, she's also 2 Dawn. She's 2 Dawn for a 3k with 1k counter power and offering banish. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I would love to have the option to put that on top of my life at any moment with Linlin. And what we're going to do today is go over every card that we want to potentially use in Linlin. We're going to add all of those up in play sets of 4. If we happen to be over our card count, which is 50 for the list, 51 with our leader, we'll reduce numbers to get this at a playable rate. So, on that note, I'm just going to start with the cards I think are obvious includes for this list. I think that our Linlins are very obvious includes. Anything that's going to make our opponent have to make a really shitty choice or have no choice, that's also equally shitty. Like this 10 for 12k Linlin is still one of the best 10 drops in the game. Fight me. It's so good. There's no reason not to play this if you're in Big Mom Pirates. She is a bomb, like an actual bomb, and one of the better ones in the game. We're not, like I was saying, going to lean heavily on our Big Mom Pirates, so I don't know how many searchers, if any, we're going to use for that tribe. We could potentially run the Charlotte pudding from the same set here. Where is she? Right there. Just to have a decent turn 1 playable. Of course, if we're manipulating a Sanji, then, you know, that's also a searcher for that. But we're probably here mostly for the Big Mom Pirates. I think it's okay. We might not need searchers for this list, and that's also okay. Like, I don't mind not having a turn 1 playable. It's fine in some instances. But we'll definitely want something to do with that Dawn, so we can kind of discuss what we do instead. I think that Olin, yes, she's also Land of Wano. I think that she might also see play in this version of the list. Having her as a setup card when we have 1 or less life cards is amazing. This will help with that final crackback. Also, she happens to be Land of Wano, so things like this boy place up to one of your Wano type characters other than Kazuki at the top of your life. This is great. This is really good. So if we have 1 life left, we swing with so we've set up our Olin. We swing with Olin for 7. They have to use 2 cards to whatever. They're obviously going to want to crack back into her, remove her off the board if they're not aiming to kill us at this point. If we play Kazuki Momonosuke on the same turn and we set up Olin again, we've 1, protected her from being attacked because she was tapped, and 2, I'm going to play her again when you attack me. Thanks. Enjoy. I like the synergy there. I think a 7 for 7 no K counter is pretty awful, generally speaking, though, so maybe we don't run her, but I actually do kind of like her with this build if we do go the Land of Wano route. So far as other Big Mom Pirates are concerned, though, I know Cracker's sort of like a go-to. I'm kind of iffy here on it. If we're on play, I really love playing Perospero. This is still one of the better 3 for 5s in the game as well, because it's a searcher and just a really heavy hitter, but we're introducing maybe 1 too many no K counters, right? There's no counter value on this card. So, super iffy on that. Shirahoshi is decent draw, and we can actually set this up with Linlin. I'm kind of high on her. The draw and trash aspects, right? So it's what you'd call a loot effect. You do go card positive here, so if we had 5 cards in her hand, we'll have 6 cards at the end of this action, provided it's off the trigger. I'm fairly okay on her. I don't know. Maybe we can get her draw elsewise, but if not, then, it's just a good way to filter through effects. Here's one of our homies. I'm not big on Napoleon, so we're not going to run Napoleon, but I do want to consider some 2K counters that are from OP04. So let's see. We've got Beige. Beige is quite good. Beige basically reads as a blocker from life, right? So whatever the biggest threat is, it's going to put itself in the way of. It's not quite a blocker, mind you. It just shuts down that thing. There are implications to this effect, but I still think it's quite good to hit off life. Enel with Beige is a pain in the ass, so anything with Beige, in my opinion, is probably going to be a pain in the ass. So, we can use that. We can also use Kazuki Hiyori. Remember, if we actually wind up playing this, it is a good combo with Momonosuke, because we can put this right back on top of our life. And why is that relevant? For the turn, one of your leaders or characters with Wano country gets 1,000 power. Less relevant for, sadly, Charlotte Linlin, but decent for our bodies if we want to try to keep them alive. Good with some of our blockers, obviously Momonosuke specifically. I think we're probably good on that. Yamato. Done. I think we could probably remove the Olin or balance it so that we're not seeing too many Olins, maybe like 2 Olins and then 2 of the 7-drop Big Moms. Obviously our top end is very heavy and that's okay. We'll probably use that 0 cost event that lets us discard something with no K counter and then get 3K power. It's not a bad idea. But Yamato is great. She's just an amazing way to murk things, especially if you're getting a lot of life, like we will hopefully be doing. We'll be able to kill a couple things, and then late game, provided we need it, it's also life gain. So it's a good card. If you don't own a copy, she's pretty cheap right now. TCG player affiliate link in the description. Please try it. Give it a go. Let's see. We're not going to use any of these. Yeah, the Holy thing is cute, but not for us. Okay, we've got Nami in there. Need that. Another no-K counter. We've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We're not going to land there, trust me. But we'll put them in there for now. We'll use this 2K counter. We'll use Momonosuke, yes. And the rest of these 1-0 cards are not great for us. We could use Zoro, though. He's trigger playable, or trigger killable. This Sanji's cute, but we're not going to use that. I'm almost feeling like we'll pad out some of the list with Wano at this point. So last time we did this, we had pretty much exclusively Land of Wano, Yamato, and Land of Wano mix with our Arlong list. There's only a handful of things that weren't Land of Wano. So I'm considering what other cards we put in that are Wano country. Not that they're searchable, it's just having that threshold for things that care about it is important. I really like this blocker for the life gain and the potential trigger aspect of it. Obviously, there aren't so many things that care outside of our Olin. There's maybe an excuse to go heavier Big Mom Pirates and only splash the Wano stuff. So you could still use this Momonosuke and do the 4, 8, 12, 16 here with Yamato and Olin. You don't really like putting Yamato on top of your life unless you are in a position to leverage her for her multiple on plays, right? That's actually not a bad idea. Sadly, we don't really care about this stage. I wish there was a better stage for us, this trigger setup, but like a Noah. Noah would be really cool if we were in green. Let's do this. I'm not super high on going further into Land of Wano. There's not too much more for us. No. Unless we want to go Zoro. And in this list, the Zoro is not like that great. So I'm not too concerned about that. I kind of like this Rusher here, but we can't really make room for that. I think we do go, if we're going to include a lot of Big Mom Pirates, I think we need to incorporate those. Parasparrow, you make an excuse for. Doesn't matter if he has no counter power. This is a decent mix. We're going to take some of these down, don't worry. I think Momonosuke, he's not unplayable here, but if we're going to roll with 4, 8, 12, that's not enough. I like to have at least 16 cards that something that requires a specific tribe to hit can hit. So Momonosuke is probably going to get cut in a second. We still want to run the Kikunojos if we can. Quite good. And Hiyori is just amazing. So we need to consider our 2Ks. So let's go do the beige. Yes, I want to find one that is searchable off of Parasparrow and Pudding. So it's not going to be Sanji. I like Amanzi, but like if she hit 3 or less, it would be more playable in my opinion. Her striking range for that is not quite good enough. I think we go for at least one searchable 2K, and then we go for maybe a handful of beige. And not like a full set of beige either. Pudding can't find Pudding if I'm not mistaken, so I'm not really high on her. Let's do... I forget the Big Mom 2Ks. Strussen's cute, but Strussen's even worse than Amandi, in my opinion. You know, and this is even only if we're considering playing them. And I do care about the effects. Like, I'm not just throwing cards in lists because they have certain values. I like to make sure that they're leverageable at stages of the game. And none of those are, like, highly leverageable, in my opinion. It really is just this and that, though. So, you may trash one card. Okay, up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. Not good. Not good effects, gang. Putting can search the 2K Sanji. I was trying to find something that could go between Perospero and her, but we may just need to go for this 2K Sanji. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, it's the 2 for 3K from OP03 set Yellow was released in. It's obviously really good. If you can get an attack off with it, it is card advantage. You are drawing a card and manipulating your life. If you know what's on top or bottom of your life, this is a benefit. Yes, the 2-drop. Thank you, Patrick, whichever you prefer. Okay, let's just do the Sanji for now. I do want it to be searchable. I think that Moment of Suke is probably going to get cut. We can use another blocker, and it can be this Sanji, though. So we'll do this 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 57 cards in the list. You can't see. Is that better? Is that better? Hey. Okay, so right now we're looking at this. We've got 57 out of 51 cards. We've got no events. We can definitely consider some events. There are very good ones from this next set. Like, I actually really like Reject. Obviously, the draw 1 is not great, but the effects on this card are amazing. If your opponent has 1 life, deal 1 damage to them, then add the top card of your life to your hand. This is really potent, and not just in Enel. It's quite good against Enel. I actually really like Soul Pocus as well. It's an odd utility. You're not going to use a full set of these, but just having 2 in the list and adding 1 to the top of your life, being able to threaten this is really, really grossly effective. Especially, you know, if you're at that stage where you have 3 life and you just put Soul Pocus on top. Let's say that you're at the stage where you have 3 life and you're at 7 Dawn. 2 of your Dawn can go towards this, and then the other 5 can go to just hard casting your Sanji. And or we've got no 5-drops. Our mid-range is a little awkward here. We did have a 5-drop, but ignore that. Not that we need 5-drops. Let's add some events. I think we should add some events. I think we're going to use You're the One Who Should Disappear. We've got a lot of no K counters, and basically the way a 0-cost event like this reads, it says trash a card from your hand, gain 3K power, leader a character. The way I like to look at these is generally you'll go 2K over on an attack to get the kill, right? Or do the damage. You're usually not thinking about 0-cost events like this. So if you go 2K over, 3K power is exactly what you need to stop the impending damage, right? So for anything in our hand that doesn't have counter power, right? And we're trying to save for the other potentially better effect. Getting rid of this Linlin with the 0-drop event is the same thing as doing a 2-for-1 like you would have had to in the first place, right? Like a 2K counter and a 1K counter. So these 0-cost events aren't as bad as they appear. And also, I just noticed that the trigger is actually really good for Linlin. I've never used this card's trigger, but if you have 0 life cards, put the top card of your deck onto your life, then it's basically like an Enel effect for this. But Gerbicide, let me read that comment in just a second. So I can see us using this. I think it's going to be our best friend because we're probably going to want to tap out most turns anyways. And if we incorporate anything else, I'm trying to see if there's any more like new events for Big Mom Pirates. I don't think there are. Koku Sovereignty is good. You see people run Thunderbolt often. It's also quite good. El Thor and Narikabura Arrow are both very similar in vein. I also think that this 200 million Volt Amuro is extremely good. Up to one of your leaders, a character who gains 3,000 power this turn. Basically, it converts your Charlotte pudding into a 5k swing and also taps down any sort of blockers they might have out. It is quite good for all of those early game characters that just sit there, that stagnate. It's basically your Houndblaze in yellow. But you do need to have 1 or less life for that added effect to be active. You'll get there if you wait on this. Trashing 2 cards to add a top card of your deck to your life is actually not too bad either, especially because we have 5 life, so we can sort of stifle that by the amount of draw we're going to get from playing this. From playing this list, excuse me. Like, because Enel only starts with 4 life, so you're not seeing as many cards, but I gotta say, they don't really have too much trouble maintaining life, from what I've seen. I don't mind this effect, so maybe we can add this, and that's it. I still like the Soul Pocus. I mean, I kind of like... I kind of like just trying to lean towards Big Mom just a little bit more because we have the Searchers for it. So maybe like a toolbox of Thunderbolts and Soul Pocuses would be nice. Life gain, life loss, kill, 5 or less. Obviously, we don't have a way to deal with larger characters in this build. You kind of just have to suffer them. Like anything, like level 6 and higher is something we're going to have to suffer. That's where Black-Yellow Linlin is a little bit better. She gets access to Black's level reduction, which is fantastic. At any rate, next deck theory craft should be Vivi. I think there's potential there. Either Revolutionary Army, Power Manipulation, Vivi, or Animal Kingdom Ice Oni deck, or OP06 Navy with Blue Navy support. Germicide, I'm down to revisit Vivi. We built Vivi on the channel before. It was not quite good, but I like the strategy regardless. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it was a little frustrating to play her because if you're with the amount of removal, and I was playing against Sean at that time, and he was playing Red Purple Law. So getting bodies to stick was very difficult. I wound up going with a rush package. I know she provides rush as well, so it feels a little odd doing that, but it was I think it was predominantly Straw Hat build. It was okay. Okay. I wouldn't mind revisiting Vivi though. She's not so bad. At least she, isn't limited to, like from that same set, Rebecca, she isn't limited to a tribe. So there's a little bit more variance with her. Same thing with like Iceberg from that same set, which is just fun thematic design, but like bad so far as playability and creativity is concerned. Banish, I think if we're going to use any homies, it's probably just going to be the double attack to help us get in the game or get over someone like an opposing Enel. Okay, so on that note, we've got a lot of 2k counters now. I like to just start with 10 2k counters now. My philosophy has changed a little bit. Because we're running removal, we shouldn't have to suffer too many attacks. So having around 10 to 12 2k counters is sort of the threshold. I've seen some people go lower, I've seen people go higher. I think 10 is sort of the sweet spot, at least for me. Because we have Searchers, 2 Searchers for Big Mom Pirates, I think we can go down on the 10-drop Linlins. I think we can go down on the 7-drop Linlins. I certainly think we can go down on the O-Lins if I didn't just already remove them. We're going to go with like 2 of the 7-cost O-Lins. We don't really need her. I think she's just a party trick. If we get her, we get her. I see people do 1-ofs in list. There's maybe a cause for that here because we have double Searchers for Big Mom Pirates. I personally don't like the idea of a 1-of in a list. There's no real tact to that. You see it if you see it. In something like Sakazuki, sure, maybe you'll run into it more often than not. But if you are playing for an effect that you want to see, you should at least run 2-of, in my opinion. So for here, because of the double Searcher and the fact that it really is just a party trick, I'm happy to have 1, but that's not what I would recommend normally. We need to remove 7 cards. So I'm cool with the 2 Soul Pocus. I'm cool with the 2 Thunderbolts. Again, we're not trying to cast Soul Pocus. We could potentially cast Thunderbolt. We're not trying to do that either. The Sky Island card here, I'm going to leave at 3-of. I think 3 is probably adequate. We need to remove 6 more cards, though. Parasparrow, I want to keep at that level. Nami, I want to keep at that level. I think the chance to Onami and Prometheus someone is just too sweet for me. Obviously, like a green-yellow Yamato would just do the double attack banish thing better. It's inbuilt. So I think that we can keep the Onamis where they are. I feel like she's just a really good setup with Linlin to get a kill, more than she is a banish effect. I think we can keep the Prometheuses down to 2. Once we've established the Linlins, and if we happen upon Prometheus, I think the double attack will be really good to help us like level the playing field, depending on the matchups. Double attack isn't like a crucial effect. Really, it gets stopped by a blocker, right? So it's not like the most essential thing in a list, right? That's why green-yellow Yamato is not winning every single event. It's not as damning as people thought. You just put a blocker in front of it, it's fine. However, if you don't have a blocker, if you don't have the counter power, it can be really damning. So I would really like to add something that could mainline removal on turn, and I mean like main event removal. Things like Gadatsu are good in just removing those blockers. We don't really have access to that, sadly, so can't do too much. I'm going to move the Kikunojos down to 3, because we're not always going to have our opponent at 3 or less life. I think, you know, in lists that, like green-yellow Yamato, obviously you're going to run 4 of these. I think 3 here is fine. I love this 9-cost Yamato. I do want to see her. I don't know how badly we need to see her in this list. Right now we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 15, 18, 22, 24, 24 character trigger playables, and then 7 event trigger playables. So more than half of our list is trigger playable. That's not so bad. I think we can go down to 3 on the Yamatos. I still think that Onami is premium removal for this list. I would like to add some form of main event removal. Buzzcut Mochi I've always wanted to be good, but it's just never doing enough. Yes, Thunderbolt is main event removal, but you're really not trying to do that. Reject is sort of where it's at, for being honest. It's just really good. Damn, I really like Reject more than I like Thunderbolt too. Sorry, it's gonna happen. I would rather we do Reject instead. And we need to remove 2 more cards. So, at this point, you could say get rid of the Prometheus, right? I do think that with our leader and having got 8 potential Linlins to double attack with Prometheus, I think it's worth at least the consideration. I think we could reduce the count. I think we could reduce this count of Soul Pocus, and we can reduce the count of Blocker Sanji, and I'm happy. I like the Brûlés just a little bit more. The trick here being the fact you don't need to discard a card to get that effect. Sanji is better on the crackback, but I'm fine with that. We could go either way. If you guys would rather see more Brûlé, or rather less Brûlé and more Sanji, let me know. But I think this is good. I think this is good. We'll see how this plays. How about that? So I'm going to copy the deck list, and I'm just going to paste it exactly as it is to the clipboard here. So if you guys want to see the full deck list and try it out yourself, if you refresh this page, it should give you the exact list we're playing. All right, guys, on that note, thank you so much for joining the live stream today. Again, like I said, this is a very quick build, and they sometimes go a little bit longer than this, but I'm going to try to condense these down to where they're about an hour roughly, so we're not here all day and it's more palatable for you guys that can't stand long deck text. But guys, if you have any questions for me regarding the list, any decisions that were made for it, please let me know in the comments, as well as when this releases as a VOD in those comments. But if you're here during the live stream and want to participate, just let me know. And again, as I like to say with all these videos, this list is just a blueprint for you. This is not the end-all be-all Charlotte Linlin. I don't come away from these thinking that, and I don't think you should either. But it is a good place for you to start if you're looking to build your own list. We ultimately went more Big Mom Pirate after looking at the Wano stuff there. Just wasn't as appetizing as I was hoping for. But let's see how this performs in a couple of games. And guys, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave it a like. It goes a whole heck of a long way. It goes a long way. Check this out. Check this out. Ooh, oh, come on, Apple, do it. Come on, Apple, do it. I give up. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. It just has a mind of its own. Is it not doing it anymore? No! Normally when my camera is connected to my Apple device, it thinks it's an Apple device and does the goofy little... Screw it. Doesn't matter. Never mind. I was just doing weird gestures for no reason. Let's go. You know what? Actually, I like to do this for the opposing players. Anonymity. Let's see if it matters today. Okay. So, obviously we're in an OP06 meta here. What with all the cards we've included. So let's go ahead and throw in an OP06 game. Gecko Moria. This should be fun. He's got to cook on whether he's going first or second, I guess. Okay, cool. Thanks. All right. Sure. We'll keep this hand. If you can see it, there's a pudding, a Sparrow, a beige, a Yamato, a Kazuki Hiyori. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, we'll keep this. I feel like this is a decent start. Gecko Moria is going to have a lot of removal for us and a lot of combos. So not excited to suffer that. That was an interesting first play from them in that nothing happened. Not quite what you want to see. We can Hiyori our Prometheus right now. But I don't think that's like a great play for us. So I'll just play the pudding. We'll grab the Sanji. I mean, we could grab... Let's do Linlin. I'm feeling like a greedy little boy. Pass with that. All right. Goodbye, pudding. I fully suspect you'll die here. So when it happens, it happens. I think we just take this first hit. I'm totally fine with that. We do want to see what they put there, though. No. Okay. Perona. Never mind. I'm about to discard a card. So of all the cards in our hand, I think we can probably get away with discarding the Prometheus, because I think our next turn's play is going to be the Sparrow, so that's fine. And like I said, I want to take this damage. No trigger. Kind of wish I did the Hiyori. I usually just pull from the top of my list. That's okay. It's okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I think we can set up the Onami. That would be kind of fun as well, but like I said, I do want to drop the Sparrow. Why don't we get some damage in first? They get 2k out. Usually you run out of hand pretty quickly with Gecko Moria, but it's not a bad idea to take some early damage. Pass with that. I am hoping we hit some of our trigger playables. As I've mentioned, the deck is more than half trigger playable, so the likelihood of not seeing a trigger is less so. And if you guys know, I really enjoy Gecko Moria, so I've got my own list. I highly encourage you to check out that deck tech. We're going to be doing a deck tech that is pre-recorded on Perona soon as well. We should be. Okay, so no blocker. I'll take the damage and no trigger. Once again. Okay. Just playing the Kuzan casually. That's interesting. Okay, I think we set up the Onami this turn. Right? He can Dawn up. I was kind of expecting a 6k to be thrown at me. I don't know if he did the math in his head there. We're going to get rid of one of these 2k counters in my hand, though. It should have been the beige, by the way. I'm just holding off on the beige because it is the best, like, stall card later. Oh, this is really good effect. Reject. Let's just see if we can burn through their hand a little bit. I mean, let's do the setup with the Onami. Use the card ability. I'll take from the top. There's a trigger playable. We'll put Onami on top. Onami's just gonna be really good for cutting through a lot of his cards. Perona will die. I don't see why they would try to keep it, because they could just bring it back, but who knows? We're going to probably reject the Kuzan, though. Kuzan is extremely good with 8-cost Gecko Moria, by the way. I would say that Kuzan's almost strictly only playable in OP06. People playing it now, it's fine. Like, it replacing itself is fine. If it sticks, it's fine. I'm not super high on the card, though. Yeah, we're going to KO a 5 or lower. There you go. Just get rid of that. he can swing into this if he wants, but we're waiting for the play, right? We're waiting for a play to come down, and then we'll Onami it to death. Why I like Onami on top for this opposing list, if you haven't guessed, Gecko Moria's ability, 4 or less, Thriller Bark. We're going to kill whatever he drops. I kind of suspect we'll get Peronid again. Like, Perona's just really good to run out, but we'll see what happens. Next turn, we're on 8 Dawn. We're going to play Charlotte Linlin for sure. If I can keep Parasparrow around, I will. This Gecko, at the time of his life here, he's like, man, should I have gone second instead so I could use 8-cost Gecko Moria right now? The grave is pretty like meh, but even now 8-cost Gecko Moria would get likely Kuzan, and it should really be playing out these Sindris. Playing Sindri is a good idea. I know it's a 2K, but playing Sindri is always a good idea. I didn't see the effects. Was it an event? Was it an event that did the cost reduction? 'Twas. So we've got one playable card here. We're going to grab that. We're going to take this so we can just cut into the Rob Lucci. So, yeah. Draw. All right, let's go. Give me life. See, the thing is, yellow against Gecko Moria is risky because they will trash the top card of their life. The top of their life is just as good in their grave as it is in their hand. It really doesn't matter. So all we're going to do now, since we've been able to match them on KOing things off the board, is we're going to just try stabilize with life gain effects. So, you know, I'm going to let Yamato get to the point where I can gain 1 life. I'm going to play Charlotte Linlin next turn. You're going to see where these cards are just extremely powerful. And black does, again, you've seen it just then. They have ways to level reduce and kill things. So killing my 7 for 8 is not a difficult proposition. As a matter of fact, they got the Helmeppo combo. I think that they had a Rebecca in their grave, though, and got rid of it. So, you know, that's interesting. I want to see what they do here. I will stave this off because I can. And again, I should have used the beige, but I'm just waiting. Just waiting to see if it's playable. The top end of Gecko Moria is usually just 8-cost Gecko Moria. This is not as good as it would have been getting your Rebecca out, Helmeppo, doing the killing the thing. But this is exactly what we suspected they would do if they did play Gecko Moria. So that's cool. We're not going to bother with the Sindri, I don't think. Okay, cool. So, I mean, we could bother with the Sindri. I don't know. See, the Sindri is better in the grave than in the hand. But let's go here and just go attack the life, I guess. Yep. Gecko is such a good stabilization card. We have so many no-K counters right now. I don't really like that. Obviously, you know, the Kuzan would be really good to get rid of, but actually, if I Yamato'd now, I could just kill the Kuzan. Am I right? Equal to or less than the life total of you and your opponent? Man, maybe I should. So if I do Yamato and I kill Kuzan and they just have another Gecko Moria, that's no good. I would rather just balance the scales here and then deal with it later on the crackback. All right. It may have been advisable to Yamato, okay? Look, we just built this list. It's been a while. We're going to use this effect more often if we need more trigger plays, but in this matchup, we're really just going, you know, card for card. It's difficult to set up these kind of plays with her with our top end in hand. Like, we just have so much of our top end in hand. What I really want to do is pull into our 0-cost event so I can start using these just like as discard fodder. Depending on how this turn goes, though, we can take a few attacks and then just put out Yamato, and that's fine. Again, this Kuzan's probably like he's working his little brain trying to figure out how he can kill my Charlotte Linlin. This one, that's the one you want to deal with. He really shouldn't have gotten rid of the Rebecca, in my opinion, but that's okay. Rebecca's sort of the bread and butter for Gecko Moria, though. Any combo list, that is combo Sakazuki, combo Gecko Moria, anything in black is sort of an unofficial combo list now if you're incorporating Gecko Moria in the list. There's just so much you can do. Okay. She's tapped, you know, I would think that, okay, so we've got a 6 cost and a 2 cost. Well, I mean, we're not going to take this damage, so we'll stop that. Okay. 4. You trying to Lucci? You're going to go through your whole hand for this. So that's a 2 and that's a 3. Helmeppo. Yeah, there we go. All right, so make sure you say Helmeppo first. Make sure you say Helmeppo first. We still have to contend with these 2 things attacking me, sadly. I will have to take this Gecko Moria damage. I hope he just swings with Gecko Moria first. Please swing. Please God, swing with Gecko Moria first. It is technically the correct play. Thank you. I'll take this. Trigger play? Trigger fucking no. What is it with the no? I've hit... okay, outside of the Onami, I've not hit a trigger playable. That is insane to me. Okay, cool. Whatever. Yes, I could have done Yamato into... Yes, I saw that. Okay, so let's go... I don't know. So if I just play Linlin, we kind of stabilize, but we don't have any counter power in hand outside of the beige, sadly. I was really hoping to get at least 1 attack off there, but that was too much to hope for. We can play Charlotte Linlin and Perospero, but neither of these are really blockers. We can play Yamato and kill Helmeppo, or we can just push an attack on Helmeppo here, right? Get rid of Meppo, or try to hit the Kuzan, but the Kuzan's not going to die if we swing into the Kuzan, frankly. They're just going to ditch a card from their hand, which is okay. But we need to get rid of at least 1 attacker, and 1 attacker I can get rid of freely is this guy. So we'll do that. It does set up a potential combo play, but that is what it is. We'll gain some life here and put them at Death's Door. So if we can live through this turn, we should be able to fucking win. But hey, I've not hit a single trigger playable this game. So luck is clearly not on my side. The RNG, not on my side. Outside again of the Onami, and that's why I really like this Linlin. We've sort of been on the back foot with board, and that's really because we don't have much on play KO like a Gadatsu mid event KO, sort of giving us ground to build out. We've just had to play life gain effects. I'm sure they're thinking of a way to get rid of this Linlin, but they should really just be thinking of a way to shotgun damage at me. This is where they could just push for a win. Legitimately, because they have all the attackers online to do that. I think this Kuzan is sort of tripping them up with what they could be doing with their turn. Right, so you should just start with those. Do I hit a beige off the top? Okay, so we're gonna use this. So yes, I could use this to kill the Kuzan. I would almost rather get rid of the Rob Lucci though. So I would almost rather get rid of the Rob Lucci. If they focus on trying to remove my Linlin, I'm okay with that. So I'll get rid of the Lucci. 1 less attacker to deal with. They're going to have to dawn up a little bit more here. I'm okay with this. Unless they drop a blocker, this itself can win the game. I'm very hopeful, though. I haven't seen any blockers, even like a Cerberus yet, so that's what's making me think that they're kind of blocker. Well, I've seen the Salvo. There's that, but there's no way to recover that. Outside of playing like a Rebecca, and then that's hyper redundant. So they might turtle up here, they could have it in hand if they're being smart. But truth be told, you could still pressure the damage here. I'm really hoping to hit a beige off the top, but there's only 2 in the list, and or trigger playable blocker, and there's a lot of Sanji and a lot of Brûlé. So come on, can we hit it? Sadly, we just pulled too many no-K counters off the bat there, but 'tis what it is. Yes, this is the right play. Thank you. Oh my god. All of our Yamatos are in hand. Every single Yamato. What they should do... I think they're worried with the amount of cards in my hand. But what they should do is just work me right now. They should just go 2k over, because if they did, they would just have this. 2k over here, even more. You've got all this done. You just need 2 attacks. 2 attacks. Literally, if you put this at, because you have 9 Dawn here, if you put this at 9k and then 10k, they don't have this kind of, knowledge, but we're screwed. We might just win out of dumb luck here. I'm really hoping. Like, if they focus this and try to, like, turtle up and play safe, then thank God. Because they have this Kuzan still, right? So they could just free attack, bring this down to what? Level 4? I'm a little annoyed that we didn't hit any of our trigger playables this game. I might adjust numbers here in a second. This is what you should have done the whole time. I'm going to concede because they're finally doing the right thing. And we don't have, sadly, we don't have a way to counter out of this. So I'm going to give them the game in a second. There you go. Their hand was pretty meh. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the list. I'm going to adjust the list, get us back on track with having a healthier game, hopefully, because Jesus, that was awful. We shouldn't have lost so handedly. I don't know what went wrong outside of just not drawing our trigger playables. I still don't think Yamato, having the numbers on Yamato is bad, although I'll reduce it by 1. I don't mind having Linlin as a potential setup card. I still like the Big Moms. As a matter of fact, you know what? Screw it. Those Yamatos did nothing for me, and the waiting game was like too much for me. So I don't mind just going up on the Linlins and going up on some other trigger playables, so we just hit number. We don't need Katakuri for this list, my opinion. I would have loved to have seen the Kikunojos, but no dice. We can just go up on the Sanjis, I think, and then call it a day there. All right. Let's try this instead. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'll send you guys a revised version of the list in just a second. This matchup is interesting for sure. So let's run it. We don't want to start with that, and we didn't really want to start with this, but that's okay. I think we actually play out the Sanji here. Really, really do. If you notice, we have the Prometheus Onami set up, so we could literally get there if we wanted to. We'll take the damage. I'm going to bet we hit 1 trigger playable this game. 1. Let's see. Oh, just give me draw. Just give me draw, man. Sanji, just give me draw. We could just play out Prometheus, but it didn't really make sense. You're not trying to do that. I would love to see a pudding just to line up the board. God. I hate the Don Quixote plays where it's you don't really know what you want to put on top and they take forever. Sorry. I'll speed this along. This is one of the issues with playing Doflamingo, Mono Blue Doflamingo. You learn the deck, but there we go. This is better. Okay. So we'll swing. Yes, I'll use the action. I'm going to take from the top just as I doubt it was a trigger playable. It wasn't a trigger playable. Who would have thunk? Who would have known? This guy. This freaking guy. We're going to go ahead, attack here. And we'll play some pudding. We'll play some pudding out. Do we get a Parasparrow? I think we do, because that's the only thing I can grab. We're going to put the 0 drops on top, because that's actually what we want. That was 2 of our 4. Yeah, and the RNG gods don't really love me. We could set up the Olin, or we could just grab a Sanji here. I wouldn't mind grabbing, like, Blocker Sanji. I wouldn't mind grabbing Blocker Sanji or just having Olin as a setup card, but we've got so much of our top end here that I really didn't want to see her. Because next turn, we're going to have, what, 2 3-drops to play? Potentially. Sorry, not 2 3-drops. I don't really have shit to play. I think we just grab the... I just want the threat of Olin. I'm sorry. There's only 1 in the list, and this is the only opportunity we're going to get to play her, so screw it. Kill my Sanji, please. Remove the Sanji. We know. What would be cute is if I saved him, but I won't. It would force him to attack with his blocker. So yes, there is some logic there to just forcing the counters to make him tap with his blocker, but it's okay. I really love this ulti, by the way. 6 or less cards in hand. Oh, buddy. Sorry. Oh, he was going to attack with the blocker anyways. Look at this. We'll ditch the Prometheus. Cool. Draw. Done. Really close to doing other things with our time. But let's just go... We can go 2 on putting into this boy, right? We don't really have any other better plays in my opinion here, so I don't mind just like matching that, using some of our board here. The other thing I was going to do is this. Just go 2 over. They need to ditch cards from their hand to get the effect anyway, so like maybe they want to, but it's a dumb idea. All right, ulti. Looking at you. Looking at me, maybe. You looking at me, ulti? God, this card is so... The art is amazing. The card itself is fine. Art's great. All right, so they got 6 cards in hand. You gotta play something. You gotta play something to untap this leader. Next turn, we have far more foreseeable plays. Let's just see if we get a trigger playable. Is this the one we get this game? 3, 2, 1. It is! And we'll use it. Okay, so we're gonna play Perospero out by discarding the Prometheus? No, that doesn't make any sense. We'll discard one of these Onamis. I just want the Olin. I know it doesn't make sense, okay? I just want the Olin. It doesn't make sense. So we're within range to do the setup things with Big Mom, which we'll probably do. I think what we want to do with 8 Dawn is just play this Charlotte Linlin, sadly, but had to go there, did you? Just had to go there. I don't know. I could see us Sanjing and Namiing out. Right. Look, I could have 2 for 1s, but I'm going to shotgun a lot of damage here, so we're good. I guess we go 7. Oh, that's not true. We're not going to shotgun that much damage. We'll go 6 into the ulti in case there's a blocker. Either one of these 2 blockers doesn't matter. And then I think we play the 7-drop Linlin. That was my one trigger this game, though. Trust me. I know. I know these things. This top deck consideration. You should know what, like, 3 of these are? Still? 2? 4 of these? Okay. Ditch some cards, why don't you? Oh, this is really going to throw you for a loop. What are you going to do here? It's even worse than deciding whether you want to organize cards. There we go. Good choice. We've got a full board, though. So, a full board and not that much counter power. Ah, the Olin setup was so close. I wish that this Big Mom lets you put it at the top or bottom. Is maybe the only thing. Like, having to put it on top of your life is kind of annoying, because it would be cool to be able to set up those later game plays. Here we'll just Prometheus. I'm gonna make them work for these attacks this go around. Obviously their top end could potentially be really good. So here, let's do I don't know. We're gonna replace this in hand. Nah, screw it. We're gonna keep this around. Swing with your X-Drake. Swing with your X-Drake. Wow. Look at you. That wasn't bad. But swing with your X-Drake. This is interesting. We have to attack Eustace Kid, right? Let's see here. If it's dawned up, but he's not. So we could just kill our opponent here. If he attacks with X-Drake, let me see here. I think we just kill him. If he attacks with X-Drake and we have a way to just get rid of Doflamingo here. Come on, this ain't that difficult, bud. It's one or the other. Oh, he's doing the 5 again. Jesus Christ, this is going to take all day. All right. No attack with X-Drake, sadly. All right. Okay. So we're going to suffer a lot of attacks here. What we could do, though, is just swing 6, 6, 6, 6. All the damage. You've only got 2 blockers, right? I don't know. This seems pretty good to me. Let's go in. Let's do 1 attack for 6 and see what happens. Ballsy. Okay. Let's go here. Oh, the 2k counter. The fabled 2k counter. We will set up the top of our life here, I think, with a blocker. We can actually set up the Onami, too. I like that. Yeah, we'll use the effect. Like I said, only 1 trigger. Fucking hell. I don't really want a 10 cost Big Mom in my hand right now, but we're just going to have to suffer that. We will put Onami on top, though, I think, is the best course of action. The trigger blocker is good, but we're probably going to play her right now. Like, we'll play out... We'll just play Brûlé. We'll play Brûlé, I think. And then kill one of these potential attackers or blockers. So we'll put the Onami on top. We'll go 1, 2, 3... Oh, that's not enough. That's not enough, boys. So we could go 9k over here, right? This is 2k over our opponent. So if we swing with Linlin, and then we go 3, let's just see what they do here, because I would like to swing with one of these puddings as well before I play the Brûlé. So we'll just do this. Right, had to do that. Cool. Technically, we could, let's do this. Let's play it like we said we were going to. And then we'll switch out the pudding with the Brûlé. Okay. Yeah, the kid being there is going to be obnoxious. Not going to lie. They've got a lot of really good attacks on us right now, and we have 2 10-cost moms. So that's obnoxious. I'm hoping that they swing with one of these big things first so I can just Onami the ulti, right? Get rid of one of their attackers. But we'll see. You know what's sad? We're going to have to let this happen. Because we don't have any counterpower. So, right now, our best bet... I don't really want to keep the Brûlé for any reason. Make him use the Sanji to hit the... Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Ulti into a Parasparrow? We'll see what he does. I mean, I'd like to Onami any potential blockers as well, so that'd be good. Oh, okay. Interesting. What you don't realize is that I'm just going to play one of these Big Moms because I got nothing else to do. Yeah, that's good. Oh, it's Parasparrow, that's right. Oh, we're going to get one of these Brûlés, I guess. You just saw me draw a Brûlé. At least go 1 over. I'll keep the Parasparrow alive. Okay, good call. We're gonna get not Sanji, sadly. The other Brûlé. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're gonna be here all day, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, I understand the need for the top deck organizers for Sanji, but like if you don't see it, just ship it to the bottom. Like if that's your strategy, just like ship it and then like rip out one of the other freaking ones you've done. This is all 4 of these Doflamingos we've suffered through. Jesus Christ. All right, so these Doflamingos and then 2 of these X-Drakes. Good job. You hit them. You got them all. Well, Onami's got like great targets now, so hopefully we just hit all the Onamis off the top of my life. But we're gonna go Charlotte Linlin here, and I think just swing vanilla, see if they're an idiot and don't do anything. Oh, actually, no, we have to swing at that kid. Okay. How easy was that turn? How easy was that turn? Swing at me. Swing at my life, please. Oh, I want to get this over with, Rosinante. I need to know. I want to play a few other lists. Against a few other lists. The top deck manipulation stuff gets me though. It just takes way too long. Do you have another Sanji play? Just play it. Just play it. Lose your list. Oh, you set up the draw. Okay. Okay, you set up a really good draw. Let's see it. You only got one person to swing at, buddy. Don up this kid and let's go. Let's do it. What's annoying is that Kid and this Rosinante, in my opinion, are probably like the coolest combo because it's obnoxious to get through. But my Linlin will kill this guy. I just need to get through all these other blockers first. And yes, I would rather just play out Linlin again and just have a bunch of bodies. I do think that this is definitely difficult to hurdle. Okay, we got there. Nope. I said one trigger playable off of life organically. We literally got there. So far, we've only seen one trigger playable off of life. Am I mistaken? It was a Parasparrow earlier. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do this and get rid of that. Okay, good job. Keep going. Keep going. Please, God. For the love of God, attack with Sanji. We're probably we could counter out, or we could just play a bunch of blockers of our own. I like the idea of just playing a bunch of blockers of our own. I just need to see if I can hit another trigger playable. The RNG gods are not liking me today at all. So I would love it if we got another one organically. God, it's not difficult. Just attack with Sanji, please, God. Thank you. I'll take this. The worst potential, like, we really needed beige earlier. Shoot. All right. Yes, another blocker. Yes. Good call. Good call on the blockers. Okay. We've got reject, which is not too useful here, but it could get rid of one of these blockers. I think, again, though, that we just set up our own line of blockers because we can literally just have a wall here if we do that. So let's see. We're going to go for a trigger-heavy deck, not a lot of triggers. Yeah, we've seen one that I didn't set up, so that sucked. I think we just play out our wall of blockers for this turn, but the attack range is like we have to attack Kid, and we're going to just kill one of these blockers. That's okay, I guess. What if he... Wait, I want to... It's fine, it's fine. We have to do it this way. Go for it. Use him. Use Duval. Come on. Get it over with. Okay. There's no reason not to attack, okay? Block with one of these two. Do it. Block with one of these two. There we go. You did it, Kid. You did it. All right. So blue is notoriously good at bottoming things, but I haven't seen any bottoming effects from my opponent here, so we'll see if we get there. I mean, he's only organized the top 50 cards of his deck. He's organized his whole deck practically, so if he thought he needed a solution, he should have seen it by now. Yeah, we'll take that. To the brulee. Good job, bud. You got there. To the brulee. At a certain point, we'll need to stop doing that. Oh, your opponent played blockers. I want to hit something that will kill the Doflamingo so we can just get over this wall. I would love it if the top of my deck was a piece of removal. I just know in my heart of hearts that it will not be. So my fear is that if I don't block, he'll have something to just tap down Sanji. But look, it's gonna be removal for the Doflamingo, okay? It's gonna be removal. No, it's not. Soul Pocus, baby! Yeah, the issue is, if you don't have life, you're fucking fine. So, not very good when your opponent's on the ropes like my opponent was. But again, it didn't really matter, did it? Dude, what are you doing? Did you, I don't know, Joe math the maths with me here? Not a great play on his part. Okay, so we're gonna go, and that's what happens when you play the blocker lifestyle with Rosinante. Yeah, I guess so. So we're gonna reject this little bitch, right? And then if one of your rested characters would be KO'd, you may KO this instead. So this is really what's the linchpin for his list right now. Sadly, we need to get rid of that really before anything else. So like we need to just kill this guy. No, KO Firelar. So yes, you know, we can just do 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to kill this, try to kill this, and then just swing. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. So if we do this, he can just block here. All right, so this is 8. The thought being, if I don't go all in on the kid here, so if I don't go 7, 8, 9, he probably, it's fine. He's holding some sort of, let's just do this. I'm done with this one. I don't want to think too hard. He has it. You don't need to think hard here. You have it. But like the fact that we saw no trigger, I don't want to think too hard here. I had a gut feeling that he had some sort of event. So give 2,000 power, sure. So we could have gone exactly 8 into, let me see here. If we did exactly 8 into him, we saved 3, right? And he was bluffing, then he would have to block with the Doflamingo. And then we could save the other 3 we put on Linlin to swing with Charlotte Pudding after threatening the Charlotte Linlin. Or we would probably just swing the 5k first, right? So we needed to kill a blocker, kill him, then kill him. So we only had 3 attacks to make. And the way we can make those attacks is 8, 5, and 12. The math was just not on our side. We did not hit the trigger playables we needed. Soul Pocus came into the wrong time. I'm going to remove Soul Pocus really quick, and then we'll go for one more game. Let's go for one more game. I'm enjoying myself. The punishment. Fucking the one Soul Pocus in this. The one Soul Pocus in this list we just had to see. As you know what? I guess the RNG gods proved me wrong. We did hit 2 trigger playables, but the other one was dick. The other one was just dog water. We're gonna get rid of the Prometheus. It was never really playable for us, and I will put in just removal. Just removal. We're gonna put in the another reject, and then we'll put the 2 thunderbolts. I think. This seems good. We can get rid of the Olin. She's a little bit of a gimmick. And I have not seen Kikunojo, and I would love to. I would love to see Kikunojo. I'd honestly like to see, just because it hasn't come up, like the Gadatsu just feels better. Let's just go Gadatsu. What the hell? Let's try this. The final list will make it into the final list will make it into the description, so if you want to test this list out, I don't recommend it off of what we've been doing. I don't know. They chose to go first. Great. I'm going to keep this. This seems amazing. Let's go. Okay. So we could play the Sanji and go for a draw. We can play the Sanji and go for a draw. We have a lot of counter power, but I don't know. I see 2 puddings. I play 2 puddings. We'll grab the Linlin because Lord knows we're never going to see our 4th one by the end of this game. We can just get the blocker Sanji here. Can't get the Gadatsu, sadly. Or we can get the 7-drop Linlin. But we've seen how awkward that has been to play. And we'll see another one in a few, I'm sure. So we're going to do Sanji here. Pass. Let's see if they go all in. They usually go like... You can go 2 for 1 me here. I'll definitely stop the 2 for 1. Like, I definitely want to. But all those trigger playables we can see, you know what I mean? Oh, shit. Oh, no. Do I have 2 2K counters? I don't know. I think I do. Let's see. Do I play Sanji? No, Sanji's for suckers. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Eat 6. Do it. Eat the 6. No. Okay, one more attack here. Let's go. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I knew you'd take that. Okay, let's see if they go all in again, because it's really a Kikunojo turn. But what they don't realize is I don't have any 2Ks after that shit. So there we go. I'll probably just have to take this. The threat, though, of this and the issue in this happening right now. Oh, fuck you. 1, 2, 3. Do I get rid of... nope, I don't have shit. It wasn't trigger playable, though, I bet you. Wasn't even trigger playable. It's never trigger playable in this deck. Oh, God. Okay. I'm losing my mind with this one, I swear. I swear to you. All right, let's set up the top of my deck. It needs to be one of these Onamis. Trigger playable? Oh, it was. It was Brûlé. But thank God it wasn't trigger playable in that last instance. Yeah, it does need to be one of the Onamis. And we'll put Sanji down so he can at least dictate some of what's going on. The issue is they're going to play their Kikunojo, and that's going to be the Onami target, which is very frustrating. Ugh, the Spanish combo. I'm telling you, the fact that you need to consider having your homie in the list and then also doing a Nami, like, it's too much. It's too much. Like, Prometheus Nami combo, while like a really nice dream, it's not a practical one. Okay, don't live in a dream, people. Live in real life. Gotta need a drink after this game, guys. I'm sorry, it's happening. This is going to be a good way to find out, though, if Yamato is just better than Linlin. I think that we've had really piss poor luck with our last games. Like, I can't believe we didn't see shit in those last 2 games. So I'm really hopeful. I'm super hopeful here. At least I know the top of my deck. Again, this is why you play this, Linlin. Like, you just want to be able to set up your list at all. So we have been. We have been. We're going to play Charlotte Linlin, and then we're going to play Charlotte Linlin if all goes to plan, but we'll see. Ah! Play your Kikunojo. Like, it's not a surprise. Just do it. Oh, Cracker. Oh, that's not good. The Cracker play. That wasn't good for you at all. All right. Keep it alive? Are we going to keep it alive? They're really thinking here. You forget I have another attack here. I will just swing this at that. But yeah, we need to do the 7-drop, Big Mom. Fucking beige. We got beiged. All right. Sure. I just don't want too many attacks coming at me. So, good job. Give me a life because you are double attacking me. Thank you. Right, so it's not too much of a threat. Too much of a threat. They can Yamato me right now for 6 and kill one of my puddings, which is pretty sweet, I guess. They should probably save the 9-cost Yamato, though, until they're down to 1 life so that they can gain the life. They must have not hit the 4 for 6 cost Kikunojo. But, you know, they've got double attack here and they've got double attack here. But what I don't think they have is rush. So, like, I'll take some life here if I must, but I don't really want to. I would really love to play Linlin and then potentially go for a kill, but they've got way too many damn cards in hand. Like, they've got the advantage with 2 double attackers on board. So I'll just get there. And as we've seen, I'm not going to hit a Brûlé because I took it off the top of my deck. So don't expect that anytime soon. But we do have Onami on top. And man, Onami to just hit this Charlotte Cracker. Onami to just hit the Charlotte Cracker really quick. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that seemed okay. It gives me a little bit more leeway. Because you're looking at my hand, I have 2 freaking Big Moms. Oh no, Kazuki Momonosuke! Sure. Okay, so we do another Big Mom, I guess? Let's see. We could just swing vanilla here. We've got other options, like we could Gadatsu. We could use reject, right? Of course, fucking course you hit your Kikunojo off life. Of course you do. Fucking course. Or well, look, that's the nail in the coffin right there, boys and girls. If you're wondering, that was it. We could do reject though and just go wide, which I think is a good idea. So if your opponent has 1 life, deal 1 damage to them, then add the top card of your life to your hand. So I think we either do that or we do Momonosuke. So instead of playing Big Mom, which is our funeral here, right? Because they can attack with a 6, a 5, a 6, and a 5, and double attack first. I think we try to go for game here, if anything. So I think we reject out the blocker, and then we go with the rest of our Dawn. We've got 3, 6. We can only shotgun 5 damage at them. My God, that's the worst. What if we just took their life? There's no good play here. Let's just be frank. There's no good play here. Or deal 1 damage and draw a card. Nah, there's no good play here. I want to try to kill them though. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's our best play in my mind. I'm sorry. If they counter out here, then we know all has failed. And we don't have the ability to like Sanji. Although what we could do is set up our Nami. Just 2K try. Okay. They're broadcasting. They've got nothing but 2Ks. But maybe that was their last 2K. Maybe those are all no-K counters. Do I just set up Onami and hope for better days? Let's just set up Onami and hope for better days. I'll use this to take the bottom of my life. Okay. And we'll put Onami on top. Okay. Got some counter power going for me here. We're going to reduce them down to 0, hopefully. Unless they've got 2 2Ks in hand. Or pass. Okay. This has been a game. I'm a little annoyed with the turn of events, but we're trying everything we can here, okay? I think that we're just not having luck with Linlin today, and that's sort of what yellow's issue is for me. When you look at lists that are in yellow, it's a big old roll of the die. You're like, hey, do I get there or do I not get there? And a lot of times you just don't get there. You just get fucked. All the time. Or at least when you're me. I've seen Enel players just rip beige off the top, turn after turn, and just stop you from doing the 3 hits. Like, it's crazy. The amount of luck I've seen people have with their yellow list. But the thing is, that's part of any TCG, but really in this TCG with yellow, that is exclusively the strategy. You're not really thinking too hard. You're like, did I get the Kikunojo up top? Oh, sweet. Right? There was no setup. There was nothing for that. But we've got Onami on top of our list. Onami's probably going to kill not the Kikunojo. It's going to kill the stupid cat thing. What are you tapping down? Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good idea. Get some power in. We're going to have to take the double attack for sure. We're going to have to take the double attack for sure. I mean, hopefully I hit a Brûlée off top, right? I don't know. How many Brûlées have we seen this game? We've seen 1. We've seen 1, and I know I have Onami on top. Okay, so you're swinging 11 at me. I don't know. They definitely have this one in the pocket. So everything else they do here is sort of just like icing. We can't get over the double attack. I don't think I was ever going to try that, but I can understand where they want to start with that. Like, it's not a bad idea, but you are risking the fact that I have to trigger playables, right? So In truth, it may be better to get rid of the 6k attacker, even though they'll gain life, right? It could be better to get rid of the 6k attacker because this other guy could only do, what, 10k at me at best? Well, let's just see. Maybe this is both our remaining Onamis, right? That one we knew about. This one we knew about. So, like I was saying, it would not be bad to just give them the life and make them work for it, or make me work for it. Let's give them the life. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Damn it. Get out! Why? Why am I not seeing triggers? What in the world? Ah! Go for it. Go for it. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, let's talk. The deck. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I really don't know. You know, as luck would have it, today, I'm going to say that the deck was bad. The deck was really fucking bad, but that's really nothing to do with me. I mean, the percentage chance of us hitting triggers was there. It was higher than average. It was well above the 50% mark. The fact that all the triggers we saw were triggers that I put there. We saw 2 in the previous game that weren't. That was the highest count. But what the fuck was that? The trigger effects have to go to someone. It's just not us right now. Yeah, Patrick, it was not us right now. Our opponent, they're like, oh, another attacker, Okikuno, oh sweet. And I'm over here like having to fucking do it the old fashioned way, send that shit up with a Linlin. Jesus, that was awful. That was awful. It could have been a Sanji, it could have been Brule, it could have been another Onami, it could have been another fucking kill effect like one of the Thunderbolts we put in the deck. It was jack shit! Ah. The percentage of triggers and the percentage of removal we've added. Here, I'm going to add this. Okay, let you try the deck. I'm going to put it in the comment. I know the showing today is not inspiring, but I'm going to put this list in the description for you to try out. I'm losing my mind off this one. This is the worst. This is the what? Okay, that's not true. We've had some pretty bad luck on the show before. This is up there though. This is pretty awful. That was pretty awful luck for the duration of all those games. So let's look at the list again. Oh, the tilt is real. These streams are really thanks. Keep up the great. Thank you, Gerbicide. Maybe we'll have better luck with Vivi, excuse me. Maybe we should just play her instead. But okay, so look, I think that Big Mom Pirates makes sense with Linlin. I think that if you're not on the back foot, perpetually on the back foot, right? If you're not just there consistently, then yes, like being able to use her to set up plays is great. Having those plays to set up though, that's a different condition. You're not always going to be there. But we had 4, 8, 10. I just killing me. Nami killing me, Nami. All right, so I think that this list is probably better. Practically speaking, I think it makes sense to have Gadatsu on turn. You're probably going to be okay, so One Piece is the land of off play. Everyone wants the free draw in One Piece right now, and it's sort of been that way since set 4, I'll say. People have been hankering for being off play because you want the 2 Dawn, you want to be off play. Yellow is actually one of those colors that's quite good, especially Big Mom Pirates, to be on play. So all of the cards in this list make sense. I think having the Gadatsu on a turn 3 does make sense. We're able to remove some of those earlier threats, usually a 3 drop. I like it here. It's also just a 1k counter. It's not trigger playable, so this does reduce our count. But then look at all the other fucking trigger playables. And then consider the fact that you're never going to hit one. How about that? We never saw You're the One Who Should Disappear, but we did see all of our Linlins. Oh my god, I really am losing my mind. We never saw one of these, but it would have been really good. It would have been so good. We would have won that last game if we got the trigger off of this. But no, it was pudding. You get pudding. Look, it's good on play. This is actually a good list. Was it consistent? No. Yellow is never going to be really hella consistent because you're not going to be able to set those plays up. But when you get there, you feel glorious. And really, it wasn't even on you. It was just the RNG gods. So yellow players out there, let me know your favorite list in yellow, probably Enel, because you get to do the trigger thing more often than not, because you're putting cards there freely, which is clearly good. But I think that this is fine. Sadly, this is not the showing I wanted for Linlin, but I really tried. I don't think I would have done anything differently necessarily. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with what we did. But guys, steer beside Patrick, thanks for hanging with me and chatting with me. Guys, if you enjoyed the content, feel free to leave this with a like. Obviously, leave your own Linlin deck list in the comments. We need to see it. The world needs to know. If you have a black-yellow list, and I mean copy and paste it like I did with mine, feel free to share it so that people can copy and paste it into OPTCG Sim as well. But yeah, yellow Linlin, black-yellow Linlin, I'd love to see either. Guys, thanks for joining me on this one. See you tomorrow. If you're into Magic the Gathering, we're going to be talking about Murders at Karlov Manor. That happened. There's a lot of cool shit in that set. Man, I wish I had product to open and share with you guys, but I don't. And also, if you're hanging out for Magic the Gathering, do expect some MTG content for... Oh, hey, we're talking about Magic now. Do expect some Magic the Gathering content, more of it coming in the future, but we're doing specifically a deck tech for... I want to fix this now. There we go. We're doing a deck tech specifically for Holy Moly this Friday. So get hyped for that if you like Commander or Magic the Gathering and all. But guys, more One Piece every Wednesdays. Let me know what lists you'd like to see next. Maybe I suffer through that. Who knows? For now, bye-bye. God. Thanks. Thanks for joining. Hearts to you. Hearts to you all. Feel free to slap those emojis too. That's always fun.